Step beyond the grand arenas and political forums of ancient Rome into a world often hidden from history's main stage, the world of Roman women. We often imagine them as silent figures, overshadowed by the emperors and gladiators. But the truth is far more complex and captivating. From the opulent villas of the elite to the bustling streets of the city, Roman women were not just passive observers. They were mothers, priestesses, business owners, and political influencers, weaving the very fabric of the Roman Empire. Their lives were a delicate dance of immense privilege and strict limitations, of power wielded from the shadows and traditions that bound them for centuries. Join us as we uncover the real stories of the women of Rome. The heart of a Roman woman's world was the domus, the family home. For the wealthy, this meant sprawling villas with frescoed walls, tranquil gardens, and bustling courtyards. Here, the matrona, the respected lady of the house, reigned supreme. Her day began at dawn, not with leisure, but with responsibility. She managed a vast household staff of slaves, oversaw the education of her children, and controlled the family's finances. Her role was to be the guardian of Mos Maiorum, the ancestral customs, ensuring the family's honor and legacy. A successful marriage was her primary duty, a strategic alliance between powerful families. The ideal Roman wife was praised for her pudicitia, her modesty and fidelity, and her lanificium, her skill in spinning wool, a symbol of domestic virtue, even for an empress. While her husband engaged in public life, the matrona's influence was exercised within these private walls. She was the epicenter of the family, a source of stability and moral guidance. Think of Cornelia, mother of the famous Gracchi brothers. When offered a chance to show off her jewels, she famously presented her sons, declaring, "These are my jewels." Her dedication to their education and her unwavering support shaped them into some of Rome's most transformative and controversial political figures. This demonstrates how a mother's influence, her values instilled in the quiet of the home, could echo through the halls of the Senate and change the course of history. The domus was her kingdom, and from this throne of domesticity, she shaped the next generation of Roman leaders. But life wasn't just about domestic duties. Religion offered women a unique and powerful public role. The most revered of all were the Vestal Virgins, priestesses of Vesta, the goddess of the hearth. Chosen as young girls from noble families, they took a 30-year vow of chastity and dedicated their lives to tending the sacred fire in Vesta's temple. This fire was believed to be intrinsically linked to the fortune and survival of Rome itself. If it went out, it was a terrifying omen. The Vestals enjoyed privileges unheard of for other women. They were legally independent, could own property, write their own wills, and even travel the city in carriages. Their person was sacrosanct, and harming a Vestal was a crime punishable by death. They held immense religious authority and were respected by all, from the common man to the emperor himself. Their existence shows that in the sacred sphere, women could achieve a status and autonomy that was otherwise unattainable. However, for every Vestal virgin, thousands of women lived far from the gilded halls of power. In the crowded insulae, the apartment blocks of Rome, ordinary women worked as weavers, bakers, shopkeepers, and midwives. We see their faces on tombstones, their professions proudly inscribed. They ran businesses, managed property, and contributed to the family income. While law and custom placed them under the authority of a male guardian, first their father, then their husband, the reality of daily life often demanded their active participation in the economy. They were the backbone of Roman society, their labor essential to the functioning of the world's greatest city. Their lives were a constant struggle, yet filled with resilience and a spirit of enterprise often overlooked in our grand historical narratives. Despite their influence in the home, religion, and commerce, Roman women faced severe legal and political limitations. They could not vote. They could not hold political office. Their legal status was, for much of Roman history, akin to that of a child. Under the law of manus, a wife passed from her father's control directly into her husband's, having no independent legal standing. While this system loosened over time, especially for the elite who used legal loopholes to retain control of their dowries and inheritances, the fundamental principle remained. Women were to be guided and governed by men. This created a fascinating paradox. Women like Livia, wife of the first Emperor Augustus, could wield immense informal power, acting as trusted advisors and influencing policy from behind the scenes, yet they could never step into the political spotlight themselves. Their power was real, but it was always indirect, reliant on their relationships with the men in their lives. So how did these women navigate such a complex world? They used the tools available to them: influence, wealth, social networking, and the power of reputation. Lavish dinner parties were not just social gatherings. They were political arenas where alliances were forged and information was exchanged. A woman's choice of clothing, her jewelry, and the art in her home were all statements of her family's status and ambition. Even gossip could be a potent weapon. The powerful women of the imperial court, like Agrippina the Younger, mother of Nero, were masters of this game. Agrippina maneuvered through murder and marriage to place her son on the throne, demonstrating a ruthless political acumen that rivaled any man's. Her story, though extreme, highlights the fierce ambition and intelligence that thrived even within the confines of Roman society. These women were not passive pawns. They were active, strategic players in the great game of Rome. The story of Roman women is a tapestry woven with threads of gold and threads of gray. It is a story of empresses shaping empires from the imperial palace and of market women haggling in the dusty forum. It's a story of revered priestesses and of mothers raising future senators. They were constrained by law and tradition, yet they consistently found ways to exert their influence, protect their families, and leave their mark on the world. By looking past the legions and the Senate, we find a richer, more complete picture of Rome. One where the quiet strength, sharp intellect, and enduring resilience of its women were fundamental to its greatness. They were the silent partners in the building of an empire, and their legacy is as enduring as the stone monuments that still stand today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden world of Roman women, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories from the past.